Endocrinologists know that the endocrine system is not linear, not a straight line. That's not the way our hormones behave. Partly it's the feedback and so on. But, so they're very comfortable with this idea that the response to a bad actor or a bad chemical would not be linear. So linear is a straight line. Monotonic means it goes in the same direction. But what we see is actually non-monotonic. The direction actually can change. So exercise is good for your hormones and your health up to a point. You know that women who exercise very heavily don't menstruate. So that's not so good maybe for their hormones and their health. On the other hand, people who don't exercise at all also suffer. So we're familiar with this idea of non-monotonic, but toxicologists don't use that. What toxicology does, and it's so amazing that they still do this, they take some rats, they give them a chemical, they see where it causes harm, then they lower the dose several orders of magnitude, they see no harm, they say that's the safe dose, and they stop. And so if there's harm on the other end, from a very low dose, they don't see it. And you know about tamoxifen?
Tamoxifen, it's a medication they use for breast cancer, relevant for us, because a lot of our patients may use tamoxifen to prevent, block estrogen from testosterone replacement. So a lot of testosterone replacement may take tamoxifen long term. So tell us about tamoxifen.
Well, it turns out that you can have pretty harmful effects at very, very low doses, as well as at very high doses. Wow. And I can send you papers on that.
Please. I'd love to see that, and we'll share it.
Because there's so many people that are misinformed about this.
Yes.
Right? And when we talk about it, they look at us like we're aliens. Right?
Well, now that you named tamoxifen, I heard Tyrone, I want to talk, I don't know if you know that, because I know you know him pretty well.
Yeah.
Letrozole. That letrozole, the company who made letrozole also made a fertilizer that increases your estrogen, and they also invented the estrogen blocker, which is for women, which is what ironic.
Conflict of interest.
Right, conflict of interest.
The other concept I wanted to be sure. So we've talked the dose. Yes, it is important for acute toxicity.
Yes.
So the higher the dose, most of the times, is the higher the acute toxicity. But chronic toxicity with EDCs, even at a lower dose, long term, you're starting to show the negative effects.
Right.
And another paper that I saw, and I think it came out of Europe, is that a cocktail of chemicals is completely. So if you put, I think about it like this. I picture the world in a petri dish, and I see a mad scientist just dumping chemicals, 280 million pounds of glyphosate, 70 million pounds of atrazine. Let me put some BPA in there. Let me put all this, and let's see what happens. So what that study showed, that even at low dose, when you add, let's say you are exposed to atrazine, then you're exposed to BPA, then you're exposed to glyphosate, it adds up.
Cumulative. But you know, it's funny, culturally speaking, when you're saying that, I'm thinking about, because alcohol consumption is so ingrained into our culture, right? So we all know if you choose one alcoholic beverage throughout the night, you'll be you're gonna be okay. But then you start mixing vodka, tequila, rum, all those things. The intoxication is far more drastic, right?
That's a great example.
Great example, because we've all done that.
Yeah, we've all done that. Who hasn't had a Long Island iced tea? I mean,
with all that's different. So so the cocktail of the EDCs is bad. So dose and cocktail, so important concepts.
And if you go to your doctor and you might get a new prescription, she might say to you, tell me everything you're taking, right? Because she wants to know what you're taking that might interfere with what she's going to be prescribing for you. So, we see that every day.
So I would love that one day as a physician, I can say, tell me everything you're exposed to. It's actually called the expo zone.
That's right.
That's right. So now I start saying that, and I'm like, let me see, where do you live? What kind of environment? What plastic? The expo zone now dictates how much exposure to those chemicals you have, and it's as bad as what medication you take.
Right.
So, thanks to you, we're going to be able to measure EDCs in the urine, but that should be another marker that we have because of our toxic modern world.
So I didn't get a chance to say when we were talking about causes, we didn't talk about lifestyle. And I do want to make sure I'm not saying that all low sperm count is due to chemicals or all infertility is due to chemicals. Lifestyle is very, very important. And I've done those studies too. I mean, we showed with our men in Rochester that we were studying, we got their food frequency, and then we saw that those who ate a Mediterranean diet had higher sperm counts. We asked them about their stress levels. Those who reported fewer stressors had higher sperm counts. We asked them about their alcohol consumption, and so on and so forth. So stress, alcohol, smoking, really important. Did I say diet? Yes.
And the smoking, we talked about this.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen it. I mean, the ubiquitousness of smoke shops nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I know, you know, we've gone away from the standard cigarette, which we know is poison, right? And now we've gone into this sort of seemingly benign, you know, vapor that we have no idea what is doing because we haven't tested it, and I know there's got to be a million chemicals in there, right?
No, when it's like flavors, because it's glycerine and a couple
flavors.
things. The flavors is the
Fragrances,
problem.
We need another 30 years epidemiology study to then follow that.
You know, this points out that when you want to show that something is safe or not, how do you do that? And just let me tell you, for those you might not know, so I want to do a study. I want to test these flavors, okay? What do I have to do? Well, I have to write a grant. I have to submit it for funding. That takes a year at best, and maybe 2 or 3 if I have to resubmit it. And then I have to put everything in place, the IRB, you know, get the population, what are the labs going to do, you know, get this all lined up. That takes another year. And then you start getting people in and you start getting their samples and you get the data and then you analyze it. That 5-year study will cost $2.5+ million, and it will take 5 years. And it's only the first step. That will not prove that these chemicals are harmful. That will suggest, yes, we should do further studies. So showing something is harmful or safe. Safety is even harder because think of all the endpoints that have to be examined and all the interactions that have to be examined and so on and so forth. So,
it was in your book again, and I put my twist on it. Unlike humans, chemicals are innocent until proven guilty.
that's right.
Right? So they assume in the US, unless you can prove that they cause harm, you can use them. Again, crazy number. There's more than 85,000 chemicals in use. A very small percentage of them have been tested. Most of them that have been tested have been shown to cause harm. The rest we didn't even test. We don't even know. Because of this, it's not easy to test.
So we definitely got to get better at that.
You know, what I like with you, I look at us, you are the brain, we are the arms and the legs.
We're the workhorses.
We are the workhorse.
We're the workhorses.
No, but you've given us a lot of like what it is, like a lot of the why, the research that we're doing. We're clinicians and we're not good at research. I know in our future we will do a clinical study together, but we use your research to really fight in the ground. So talking about lifestyle factors, tell us about this guy that you described in your book. That was a prolific sperm donor with amazing sperm.
Right.
And what happened to him?
So he came in for one of his donations and they analyzed the sperm and they got back to him and said, hey, not so good. What happened? What's going on?
Before, he had great sperm. He was giving it all the time.
Right. Regular donor, right? And he said, you know, I moved in with somebody who's a smoker. Moving was stressful. I had trouble with my relationship. And so he worked on cleaning up his act. The guy stopped smoking that he was living with. He did better in his relationship and his sperm came back.
And his sperm came back. Wow. So there are other things we can do about this. Also, I see in your book, you said he was eating, because he just moved, he was eating more processed foods.
Right.
So he changed his diet.
Right.
He wasn't close to the person smoking anymore. And he did stress management.
Right.
And his levels went up.
Maybe we should do that again.
Yes. Are we going to volunteer?
You should just do it.
It goes back to her, you know, it's part of, you know, it's not so much doom and gloom. Even these simple tips can help, you know, a tremendous amount. And that's what we're good at.
Not so simple.
Well,
It's so simple.
you know, I mean,
It's crazy way.
Cutting down your stress level, good luck on that.
But that's what we do.
Yeah.
When they come to us, we make
Right.
them feel so good. We help them change their diet. We
Right.
now we
Right.
talk about the exposome.
Yeah.
We help them lose the body fat, get more lean
Meditation.
muscle, help them with mindset and
Meditation, yeah.
meditation.
That's a huge
So
one.
that's why, again, we're not just a testosterone replacement clinic.
Mm-hmm.
We're an optimization clinic because it's needed because of all this assault to our system.
Or what I like to say, cellular optimization clinic. We're treating at the cell level.
Love it. Very good. So we learn here the big why.
Big why.
So there are lifestyle factors that we can modify. There are factors that go beyond your own power. EDCs. You do have power on the short-term phthalates, plastic that you can really find a way to avoid, which we'll have more talks about this.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, even with your best efforts, it's never going to be zero. So next, we're going to talk about
demand, but
solutions.
just to kind of round out that point, demand does provide supply, right? So vote with your wallet, and you know, there are a lot of great companies nowadays that are making the effort to reduce the phthalates and reduce the parabens and reduce the exposure. So, you know, be smart and help us.
and help yourself.
Yeah, help yourself and vote with your money and support these companies that are actually making the effort to, you know, do the right thing, right?
Optimizing your health is only a scan away. Select the QR code that fits your profile best, and we look forward to hearing from you at the Medical Health Institute.